Come and talk to me. Yeah. This is going to be quite a long and tiring weekend, and I don't want to start it by just destroying my voice. So, okay. Firstly, well done for getting here almost on time. Nice to see you all. My name is Guy, and I have been asked by the organisers to do a class on Vadi, because they seem to think I have studied Vadi at least a little bit, which is not an unreasonable supposition, given that I've written books on him. So, I am working from my translation. Please don't ask me to comment on other people's translations. That is outside of my area. Okay, and politeness gets very exhausting. Okay, so how many of you have trained with me before? Right, okay. Less than about half. Okay. I'll just recap the rules then for those who don't know them. The first rule, the only really important rule, is everybody finishes training healthier than they started it. Okay? Which means you don't injure yourself and you don't injure anybody else. Most injuries in class are self-inflicted. Now, with Vadi, we're not going to be doing great big athletic lunges, so it should be relatively physically gentle. But if we are doing an action that is bad for your body, don't do it. Yes? And if you need the action adapted for your particular body, ask me and I will help you do that. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is, I have no idea why you showed up today. Right? Fair. Fair. Right? So I can just teach a 90-minute Vadi class and it would be fine, but you've come a long way and it would make sense if we give you a chance to get exactly what you came for. So as always, I start these sorts of classes by asking you what you want.
I would like a taster class to see if I want to do more Vadi.
A taster for Vadi. Lovely. That's a nice, you just throw me a nice little softball there, yeah.
I would like something that I can take home and show people, and they can take it up as exercises and drills they can use.
Okay, so should we short drills to take home? Yeah?
To see difference between Fiore and Vadi.
How many people want a difference between Fiore and Vadi? Right, okay. Here's my other question. How many of you know Fiore reasonably well? Right, okay. I will try and work it in, but I can't promise. Because unless everybody already knows Fiore, to give the comparison, I'd also have to teach them Fiore.
Also,
right?
We can just notice the differences.
So. But I will try to work that in, but we're not going to spend much time on it.
I've quite few experiences with or no experience at all, so I see it as an introduction to Italian longsword.
Okay. Anything particular you want me to cover?
There's a difference maybe between Lichtenauer and techniques.
Between Lichtenauer and Vadi? No. That's a no.
maybe one thing that makes Vadi unique.
Okay, so what makes Vadi unique? Yeah, that's a good choice. And
I think that
ties.
all like different.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Like, is there a particular Vadi play? Oh, play 15. Can we do play 15?
Probably advice on applying it tactically in sparring and stuff like that, because it's one thing to do the plates.
Okay.
Now I want to do play 15, right?
Okay. So how many of you have any experience of Vadi? I mean, how many of you have like studied him at all?
Like I've read it, but
right. Okay. So basically, it sounds to me like what we need is, here's a basic introduction with an emphasis on the things that are different in Vadi to what we find in Fiore or Lichtenauer. And so we should do some of his movements, some of his guards. I'll throw some Italian at you so you can feel like you've had an Italian experience, right? And of course, over the course of the session, if questions come up, feel free to ask them. And I'm doing a similar class this afternoon. It will not be the same. I've never taught the same class twice in my life. So if you come back for the second one, then we can build on what we did in the morning, and if it's all new people in the afternoon, then we'll do something that's closer to what we're doing this morning. Okay, does that seem reasonable? All right. Do you need a gentle warm-up before we start?
Yes.
Fine, okay. Let's start with that. Tell you what, I want to stay away from Ton just for noise sake, so I'll be over this end. You guys get in front of me, facing this way. All right. Put your weapons down and gently swing. Nice and relaxed, nice and easy. And swing up. And back to the middle. And relax, feet together. Gentle knee rotations. Gently, gently. Out of the way. And open. Out of the way. Gently extend the legs. Gently, gently. And up. Find your hips. Nice big circles. It's a nice way to start a Saturday morning, isn't it? Of course, but most of you have already done like 2 hours of hard training before breakfast, right? And the other way. No? Relax, roll the shoulders. And open. Out of the way. And opposite directions. This is the fun bit. And the other way. And relax. And roll the wrists and press back. Let's get the fingers involved and the wrists involved and the elbows involved. And back to the wrists, palms. And gently stretch up. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, God. Nice gentle shake. And a few gentle squats just to get things gently moving. And sit. And gently open up the ankles. And squeeze the knees apart, open up the hips gently. All the way up. Gently stretch forwards. And up and relax. Well, I feel better. So, grab your swords and let's start with something very, very Vadi. Okay, I just need to borrow a sword so I can show you what I'm doing. I'll borrow your sword. Thanks.
Here you go.
Okay. Okay, so we're just going to start with something that keeps you in one place and is a very, very Vadi type thing. Okay, and we're going to be doing rising blows with the true edge. So we'll start with just the arm and then we'll add the body and then we'll get to Vadi in a moment. Okay, so give yourself some space and just a true edge swing up And you can use 2 hands or 1 hand, I don't care. Okay, you need that sword.
Thank you.
Martin has anticipated a need. Thank you, sir. Just get it nice and smooth, nice and swingy, nice and relaxed. Doesn't do to work too hard. Certainly not on a Saturday morning. Ah, lovely. Quickly! Thank you, sir. All right, so we're going to take this motion and we're just going to add a step to it. So as the sword goes forward from the right side, the right foot goes forward. As the sword goes forward from the left side, it goes forward. And you can go backwards and you can go forwards. Nice and relaxed, nice and easy. Okay, keep it moving, nice and relaxed, nice and easy. The only really important thing is you don't hit anybody you don't intend to. And if you intend to hit someone, you're in the wrong class. Nice and relaxed, nice and easy. Okay, and relax. Now, Vadi is unique, as far as I can tell, in the Italian system, or the Italian 15th century stuff. And I don't see this in Lichtenau either. He has this position where the feet are close together with your weight on one foot or the other. So this foot is entirely unweighted, it can go anywhere. And the feet are close together. Okay, so what we're going to do is take the same motion we just did, and as we recover, we're going to recover to here. This will be, because you wanted Italian, right? This would be Vadi's posta frontale. Okay, Fiore's frontale, Vadi's frontale. And as we recover from the other side, we're going to this position, posta di finestra. Fiore's finestra is like this, you've got ox like this, but this is Vadi's finestra. So, yeah, I'm pulling back and striking and pulling back. You see it? So, take a little moment in those guard positions to enjoy the Vadiness of them. You do not have to press your cheeks together. You can if you wish. You can also wear extremely tight-fitting red hose to accentuate, but that's not necessary. It just looks good in the pictures.
Are the hands actually backwards?
They're here.
Yeah, okay. Next to the temple, basically.
Yeah, right here. Lovely. Okay, now here's a thought for you. The most common blow in all of swordsmanship, other than possibly the thrust, would be a descending blow. Agreed? And there's no law that says you have to cut upwards from here. You can, of course, cut downwards. Now, Vadi calls the downwards blow fendente, which puts him entirely in line with every other Italian treatise ever written. Okay? He just calls all his other blows by different names. Right, we'll get onto those in a bit. So, same guards, you can cut downwards. And then that begs the question, how are you going to get back up? Well, if you just pull back, you get this sort of slicing action. And I think you can probably figure out some things you could do with that slicing action if you wanted to. Yeah? So, from the right side, you're cutting a fendente down and slicing back up. And from the left side, fendente down, slice back up. Okay? Have fun. Yeah, you can go back up to the same side if you want, or you can change sides. Now you asked for what makes Vadi different. Okay, here we have frontal, yes? Here we also have posta breve di spalla lunghezza. And here we have frontale. And here we also have posta sagittaria. Right? So we have, uniquely, we have a high version of the guard, and we also have a sort of middle height version of the guard. Fiore does not show these things, and we don't see much like that until much later. So, What's the point of this guard? He doesn't really say, right? Because this is 1480, you're supposed to know. Now, from here, I like a thrust, but you can, of course, also cut downwards, and you can, of course, also cut upwards. Yeah. So, having found your fenestra by this lovely big slicey thing, Sagittaria, you can thrust, you can cut, you can do whatever you want. Okay? So have a little play with Sagittaria, and we'll have a look at Posta breve di spada lunghezza in a minute. Di spada lunghezza, from which of course you can cut downwards, you can cut upwards, and you can thrust. It is just frontal held lower down. Okay? Have a play. These are just two guards.
Okay, yeah.
You can get between them however you
Okay.
want. You can.
But you
I mean,
wouldn't end the blow in this one.
Sorry?
You wouldn't end the blow like down here.
You might if it's to the arms, maybe.
Yeah.
He doesn't say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would normally want to cut up and through.
Yeah,
I think of these lower ones as I'm waiting and you do something and then I hit you.
Yeah, move into this from another guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I would generally get there. Don't make it too long. If you extend it too far, it gets weak. You have to take it quite close. Yeah.
With this one, how much maximum is the elbow back? Behind
Not much.
Not much. So more like.
Yeah. Sort of relaxed. Okay. Judging by the way you've slowed down, you're like, yeah, okay, I got this. Yeah, fine. All right. All right. So let's have a look at another Vadi thing that makes Vadi different to everyone else. And that is his falcon guard, the falcon, right? Which he explicitly describes as a defensive guard. Okay. So it's up here. Now, beginners to Vadi very often form a small bruise here. Yes, because as they swing that up, they go smack. Do not do this. Well, you can if you want, but it's not my fault if you do it. Okay? The trick is it's high. If you think high, you'll be okay. If you think to my head, you'll smack yourself in the head. Yeah? So high. This is falcon, and it's shown in this position. And from here, you can strike with one foot or the other, because it's in the middle. So striking either side is easy. Okay, so you're here and you strike down and you bring it up and you strike down. And you can get up to it with a bit of a flourish if you want to. Yep, because we're Italians, right? We like a bit of flourish. Go ahead, falcon. Let's apply falcon to a situation, all right? And let's make it a situation that you've already sort of prepared for. And again, we're choosing our guards and our blows to be very Vadi. Yes? Can I borrow you, please? You asked for a basic intro to Vadi. Yeah, all right. So I'd like you to start in Fenestra. Yeah. And I'm going to start in Falcon. Okay? So I can go anywhere, do anything. If you were going to attack me, you'd probably cut towards my arms, wouldn't you? Yeah? So go ahead and do that nice and slow. Bang. Yeah. My head's not available, but that's a sensible target. If you chop my left arm off, the fight is going very well for you. Okay? So, go ahead and attack. Bang. Now, my response to that, obviously, is going to be something along the lines of parry and strike. Okay? That last bit is not rocket science, is it? Okay? So, I'm in Falcon, and she attacks, and I step out of the way, and I parry and strike. Okay. Now I can, of course, then recover in some fancy guard if I want to and make it extra Vadi. But the critical bit is Falcon used defensively and Fenestra, in this case, used as a chamber for a strike from the right. Okay. If your partner gets it wrong and strikes from the other side,
I shall strike
yeah,
your other side.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not rocket science. And Falcon gives you this ability to go either way. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay, slowly and carefully, mask up, have a go. Thank you. Come here! Schnell! I say here. It's here. Here, schnell!
So you don't want to wait for the plane?
No, I don't want to wait for the plane. Okay, get where you can see the book. I need you here, not somewhere over there.
Okay.
Right, okay. All right, just in case you think I'm making shit up. Now, the book is, I'll just leave it on the floor over there, and you're welcome to have a look at it any time. Okay, so we have Falcon, yeah, which he says, Sono posto di Falcon, soprana e altera. I am the falcon guard, high and above, right? Per far difesa a ciascuna manera, right? To make defense in whatever way. Yeah, so like, here I am, and do what you want. I'm just going to do whatever defense seems sensible to me. Okay? Just in case you thought I was making shit up. Okay?
We all know
Did you write this book?
What?
Didn't you write this book?
No, I wrote the translation. No,
You're not Mr. Vadi?
I am not Mr. Vadi, no. I'm Mr. Windsor. No, Dr. Windsor. Fuck you. This is Germany. You get all your doctors here. Okay, so we're going to continue with the first play of the longsword, and it is a really, really interesting bit of mechanics. So we're going to have to go slowly and carefully in a more detailed way than what we've been doing so far. Okay, because the setup is important, which he doesn't describe, and it took me years to figure it out. So, con reverso fendente or tratto sul pes stanco. I've done a reverso fendente, so a backhand descending blow, right, on the left foot. In other words, with my left foot forwards. Okay, senza scambiar pe, without changing feet, voltando el gallone, turning the hips, trarò el dritto, I will strike the forehand without further movement. Senza muovere me ankle, without further movement. Okay? Now that may not be word for word how I translated it back here, but I can't be bothered to flip back and forth. That's sufficiently accurate for our purposes. So we have to get this working. And so what you're going to be doing is a parry. And as your partner parries your thrust to their face that we just practiced, I was setting you up for this, right? Sneaky. Right, we're going to start with just doing the reverso on the left foot. Okay? So, any questions on this before we start? Or should we just crack on? Show us. Oh, come and join me. Yeah, no, you'll be fine. Okay, so probably safest if I put my glasses back on. Okay, so let's start with exactly what we had before. Okay, so here I am in Falcon, and there you are, and you're going to come and strike at me. You're a little far away, I think. Yeah, get a little bit closer so you're comfortable. That's it. Okay, now from here, I step out of the way and I parry, and I'm going to thrust at your face. Okay, now you don't like this. You would parry, yes? Okay, so what I do is I strike the fendente on the left foot. That make sense? You can see it many times more and from both sides, don't worry. I don't expect you to get it immediately on the first one. Okay, so she comes to strike, I step out of the way and I parry, and as I thrust, she parries my thrust, and I step out of the way and strike. Okay? And come on the side for me. We'll do the exact same thing step by step. So first there's the attack, I won't do anything. That's the setup. I parry and strike. Wait for it. I parry and strike. Now, when I parry, as I thrust, she's going to parry that, and I'm going to step out of the way, striking on the other side. Anyone who's done any Lichtenauer, anyone who's done any Lekushner Messer plays, knows this already. Yeah, because from this bind, in Messer, for example, you get this thrust, and then you get this sort of thing. Yeah, so this sort of mechanic is well established elsewhere, but of course Vadi doesn't actually tell us how we got into this position. He just says, he just shows us this picture, right, and says what I read to you before, yeah, having made a reversal and so on. So okay, Notice the height of my hands. Yeah. Keep your sword in the way of their sword all the time. Okay? All right, give that a go. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to stick with this as our sort of foundational exercise. And we're just going to add the step that Vadi says, which is, without further movement of the feet, just turning the hips, I strike a forehand blow. Okay? Generally speaking, in Italian sources, if backhand and forehand are not further qualified, it's pretty much invariably a fendente. In this case, I tend to do it more of a horizontal blow, which Vadi might call a volante. So let's set the thing up. Yep, so strike comes in, I parry. There's the thrust to the face that brings her point up, giving me this time to come around to the other side. Now, if she just gets hit in the head, excellent. I am still going to take that second blow. Yeah, why not? Right? But if she parries my reverso, I take that second blow. Yeah, why not?
Take it on the other side of the bind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without further movement, just turning the hips. Okay, so I'll just do my motions on my own for a second. Hang on a sec, just so you can see the mechanics. So I'm stepping out with the parry. There's a thrust. She parries that. I step around with that fendente, and here are my hips are going this way, but I want to do that. Yeah.
So it's not a duplicate. You're going back on the other side of my blade.
I don't speak German.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But you're changing to the other
I'm
side
not
of
doing
it?
anything other than repeating my blow.
Okay.
Right? This is the critical bit. It works whether she does anything or not. Okay, so if I could, so we're here. Now, here's the thrust that opens up this side. Okay, I make the cut. If you don't parry it,
Okay. Yeah.
because I'm quick and I've hit you in the head, then there's the second blow.
Yeah.
Right? And if you do parry it, there's the second blow. I don't care. Right? I just take both blows. Now, I do this as a horizontal blow with the hands relatively high. Kind of depends where the sword is. Because your first job, always and always, is to control your opponent's sword. Yeah? Make sure your sword is in the way of their sword all the time. So you will see variations on how people do this depending on what their opponent's sword is doing. So if we end up down here quite low, I may decide that it's too risky to go for the head because it means lifting my hands too high. I might go for the arm instead to keep this. Okay? But if we do it exactly the way it's shown in the book, the hands are going to be higher, so this head strike makes sense, and there's that second one. You see it? Yeah.
Question: if your opponent doesn't parry and it's open, isn't your right side quite open? Because when
Yeah,
you do it from the right
but
side,
I've just cut their head off.
Yeah.
So yeah,
if he's doing an action towards you
Okay.
at the same time, I mean.
All right, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
We're agreed that this parry has occurred, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, what action can she do towards me that I have to care about?
I could do a short edge, but
Really?
not doing anything. Yeah.
Stabbing your face around. Yeah, stabbing your face around.
Okay, so that just continues.
He blocks, but still.
No?
Yeah, that's working.
Yeah. So it depends on what they do, but what you're doing is a simple series of motions that whatever they do should keep you safe and should hit them possibly 3 times, hopefully twice, definitely once. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay, so follow the rules of fencing, right? Don't get hit. Put your sword in the way of their sword. And if your partner has never seen Vadi before and is doing things a little bit differently, it will look a little bit different because you should adapt to what your partner is doing, not follow the choreography of the book like a slave. Okay? Do you want to see it one more time? Yeah, let's come this side. All right. So we're here. Parry. I thrust. She parries. I step out the way. She parries or doesn't. I don't care. Yeah, and even if she didn't parry, I would probably continue my fendente to the blade just for safety's sake, but Vadi doesn't say that, that's me. And if she does parry, there it is. You see it? Yeah? Pretty? Give it a go. Thank you. Am I speaking German loudly enough? Okay. Come on. Okay. There's two places we can go from here. Okay, partly because of what Vicky asked for. I want to not give you a whole bunch of separate things. I want to give you one little package that you can take away and practice. Okay? So, there's two ways we can go from here, and we've got about 25 minutes left. We can either look at the specific mechanics of the stuff you have already done and geek out about mechanics for a little bit, or we can add an extremely cool continuation to... No. Okay, my vote is mechanics, because I think mechanics is probably more useful to your overall fencing education, but I won't blame you for going for the very cool counter. So,
Could you show us a cool... let's go once and then talk about...
Fine, come here. Come here.
Best do it once with good and bad mechanics, so we see mechanics are more important.
I cover the bad mechanics.
Okay, fine. All right, so basically, what we have, so just we'll do the drills we got so far. There's the parry, there's the thrust, there's the cut on the other side. He parries that and I cut. Okay. What happens if he parries that? Yeah? Yeah. But Vadi has a counter to the punta falsa that is fucking delicious.
Is it a
right? This is a kind of punta falsa. Okay. What you should do is you should pick that up and just drop your pommel over my elbow.
Yeah.
That's it. And,
yeah.
And take me straight down.
You're fucked.
I am fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's the cool counter in its continuation. The mechanics. No. The mechanics will be basically from here. Okay, this is a problem. How do I get my sword from this side to this side without getting hit? Okay, here's what. Yeah, someone's been to my classes before. Okay, here's one option.
Okay.
Right. Here's another option.
Yeah.
And it's all about exactly where the blade turns. Okay, so a vote, please. This is your class. You get what you want. You get what you asked for. Okay, hands up for mechanics. Hands up for cool counter. That was mechanics. Sorry guys, that was definitely mechanics. All right.
Keep the cool counter for the afternoon lesson.
Okay, fair. All right.
I also filmed it. So.
Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at the specifics of the mechanics. We'll do this on our own for a minute because that's easier. Okay. So if you spread out a little bit so you can see. Okay. And I want you to hold the sword in front of you in a really stupid way. Yes. I am an idiot and I stand like this. Okay. This is just so you can get the idea. Give yourselves a little bit of space because the sword is going to be doing this. Okay. Now, you can turn the sword around the left hand, like that. Okay? So the left hand stays still, the right hand moves around it. All right? You can turn the sword around the sword hand. So the sword hand stays still. Okay? Or you can move the sword across a little bit and you can turn the sword around the center. Okay? The center of the sword. All right? So, and notice that to do that, you really have to move around with the body, otherwise it gets very awkward in the shoulders. Okay, can I borrow you, please? Okay, so just stand like this. All right, Now, you're going to do this in pairs, and the person whose fingers are being involved, you just put 2 fingers in the middle of the blade like that, and I want you to, don't move my hand around, just do the action. So turn without moving the center of the sword. That's it. Lovely. See it? And again. Now it's easy, isn't it? Because you've got something to focus on. Okay? See the motion? My job is just to stick my fingers out like that. I think you can all manage that.
Yes.
All right, so in pairs, just for a moment, so you can both feel. So go ahead and stick your fingers out for me. So, yeah. It just helps you get that reference for where you're turning. And the turning point is about halfway down the blade, somewhere around there. Okay, it's not magic, it can be in various different places depending, but put it somewhere around the middle. Okay? Have a go. From here, or any guard, I can strike turning around the left hand, making a nice big opening. Please smack me in the face. Boom. Now, if you do it deliberately and they smack you in the face, you have a parry ready. It's not wrong, it's only right in context. But this is true for all fencing actions. They are only ever right in context. So, you can strike turning around the left hand. You can strike turning around the sword hand. That gives a different sight picture. For the sake of the video, I'll do it directly to the camera. Okay, there's the left hand, boom. There's it turning around the right hand. The threat to the opponent looks and feels different. Okay, you can also turn it around the middle of the sword, which looks and feels different. Okay, there is always a trade, and it's never right or wrong. It's, do you get what you want? If yes, it's right. If no, it's wrong. Okay, it's that simple. So what I'd like you to do is go back to the previous drill. Yeah. So you take fuck on. Okay, and practice as much of the drill as you want, but how does it feel when I attack like this? How does it feel to you when I attack like this? How does it feel to you when I attack like that? Yeah. And by all means practice the rest of the drill if you like, but focus on those 3 different ways of making that first action. Okay? Have fun. Okay. You like this stuff? Can I borrow you, please?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, now then, let's have a look at a more nuanced application of this. So, if you attack, however you like, and I'm up here and I parry. Now, as I thrust, you're going to parry, right? Now, at this point, it is super important that this thing does not end up in my face. Yes? So, I have to get from this side of the sword to this side of the sword. Now, there are lots of ways to do it. This is obviously wrong. Thank you. Okay? But if you turn around the sword hand, you get a kind of snapping action over the top. That's okay. It's all right. There are worse ways to do it. But if you turn around the middle of the sword, at no point is my sword not in the way of hers. Yeah? You see it? Okay? Now, this is, I'm just letting your arms have a rest. This is one of those bits where Vadi does not explicitly address this, except where he shows the blows, he says, and these are the blows of the full tempo, not those of the mezzo tempo, the half time or the half motion. He says, nel nodo rimane, they remain in the knot. Okay? Or, nodo del mano is the wrist, so it could be they remain in the wrist. Okay? So it's one or the other. But the point is, my feeling is based on some of the other stuff he says. Let's not get too academic. Bring the books to dinner and we can discuss it as much as you like. My feeling is that in this situation, we have to use what he would consider half blows, because a full blow is going to get me killed. Yes? So from here, I'm making that turn around the middle of the sword. Yeah? And of course, if she parries that, that's not going to work. You need to pull that back a bit, or else I'm just going to hit you. Right? Again, if I pull that thing all the way around, she's going to hit me, but if I turn it around the middle of the sword, my sword remains in the way the whole time. Yeah, and if you parry, that's fine. I just do another one over here. Yeah? Do you see? Yeah.
I think it works even better with sharp swords, yeah? Because
Yes.
this biting effect and the
Everything works better with sharp swords. Right? But we're not doing sharp swords today because you didn't ask me. And you didn't bring them. Okay. So what I would like you to do is, you can do the starting if you like, or you can just begin, the parry has occurred and the thrust is being parried. Okay, you can start from here and just have a feel for turning around this point of the sword. Boom. And if she parries that, turning around that point of the sword. It's lovely, isn't it? Do you see it?
Yeah.
So really pay attention to moving the sword from one side to the other, turning around the middle of the blade so that your sword remains in the way the whole time. And again, much easier with sharp swords because you really don't want that sword in your face. Okay? Gently with your friends. Oh, sorry, one quick question. I have permission from the organisers to extend my class by about 25 minutes so we can do the cool counters at the end. Right?
Thank you, organizer.
Hang on. Does anybody need to finish on time? Like you have an appointment at 11:30. Fine, okay.
I need my coffee.
You can wait. Fine, okay. So the class will continue for 25 minutes beyond the published time so we can do the cool counters. Okay. But only if you pay attention to the mechanics and study them properly. Okay, go. Let's see what happens if she parries my dritto. Okay, so I'm here, she strikes, I parry. As she's parrying my thrust, I cut around to the outside. As she parries that, I make the dritto. If she parries that, okay, this is getting to be a bit boring, isn't it? Right? So I turn with that same turn around the middle of the sword. So my sword is always in the way. Yeah, and I step in. Yeah, this is not Vadi saying do this. This is me taking one of Vadi's plays, which he does not tell you how you get there. He just shows you this cool technique. And I am just putting it in here, and this is the setup for it. So be aware that this is a play from Vadi, but this is not the context that Vadi shows it in, because he doesn't show it in any context at all. So I parry. In the time of her parry of my thrust, I'm cutting around to the other side. As she parries that, I'm cutting. As she turns, and there it is. And I take the steps I need to step to get there. Notice it's the same mechanic. Once you're in this close, you do not want to take your sword away. You have to keep it in front of you. Do you see it? Yeah? I'll just show you once more from this side. And of course, she would be striking at my head, right? Because you've parried. Okay? So if your partner forgets to strike, that's fine, you just get to hit them. But if they remember to strike, it shouldn't matter. Yeah? Get your hands in the right place and your sword in the right place, so it doesn't matter if they do their job properly. Yeah? And her job is always to strike if she can. Got it?
The last action, is it the same for left hand?
Okay, cut from that side, please. So there's a turn, there's a turn of the hips, and I'm making that turn and stepping in there. I'm obviously less good on my left hand, but that's it. The trick to it, just for the sake of the drill ending up the same way, the trick to it is get your partner to strike from their left side. Whether they're right-handed or left-handed doesn't matter, but to end up in this position with this series of blows, it has to start out my forehand versus a blow coming to this side, or my forehand, a blow coming to this side. Okay? Does that help? All right. Have a go at this. Yeah. All right. Okay. Now he did it to me, so I get to do it to him. It's only fair. All right. So here I am in Vadi's Fenestra. You could be in any right side guard if you're right-handed, or any left side guard if you're left-handed. And I start this whole thing off with that strike, which he parries. As I parry his thrust, he goes around to the other side, and I parry that. And as he tries that, I parry that, and now he's coming in with that lovely punta falsa. Now, this is the easiest thing in the world. Okay, it really is. It is so easy that some people make it difficult. Right? All you do is you turn to your right. Yeah? Just turn to your right. So turn the sword to the right. You feel what's going on?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah? And then you just pop the pommel over the elbow. Now, amongst not friends, give yourself some extra leverage, and you want to be going down, right? To the accompanying sound of a crackling breaking noise. Yeah? Amongst friends, just get the feeling. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? And I'm taking that elbow where he does not have a leg. Beep. Okay? And if his sword smacks himself in the face, that's just a bonus, and this is why you're wearing masks. Okay? Let me show you from the other side. Again, this is super simple when you get it right. I parry that one, he goes round. I parry that one, he goes round. I parry that one. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Florence. There we go.
That feels bad.
I know, it's really bad. I know.
Really
But
nice.
it is literally that. Yeah. And then, of course, you just take the left hand out, but not with your friends. Yes.
Question.
Yeah.
If you're a filthy competition fencer, how would you modify that to be safer?
If I wouldn't be a competition fencer, but if I was a competition fencer, I would modify the. So let's say that is coming in. I would just. Does that get you a point or not?
Yeah, control.
If that gets you a point, you just stop it there. Yeah. And if they start to get, I mean, the sensible thing for him to do is to let go with that hand, and bring that sword around.
Yeah. Tap.
Yeah. So the problem is, if you don't apply it, he is free to take that sword around and smack him. But if you actually, so you shouldn't really do this in competition. Okay. So the real competition version, if you like. So well, let's start at the beginning. Start at the beginning. So you can see the whole drill. Strike. Oh, sorry, I'm striking. I forget my own drill sometimes. Yeah. There's the parry. There's one parry. There's another parry. In he comes. I'll just parry it. Yeah. And I'm putting it in the same direction, and then of course you come in for your control. Yeah. But that's not what Vadi shows. Vadi shows breaking his arm, because breaking his arm is a lot more fun. Okay? So the cool counter, it's so very Vadi.
I'm just applying.
So you'll come here.
Just do the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So I turn to my right, I pop that over his elbow, and I gently apply. Okay? For the left-handers, let's do the whole thing left-handed. It's all right, this is fine, don't matter. Okay? No, you're right-handed. Okay, so I'm attacking, you parry. There's the thrust to my face, I parry that, you cut around the other side. I parry that, you cut around. Boom, into a sort of punta falsa type thing. Yeah, well done, because it's tricky. It's the same thing, you just pop the pommel where it wants to go. And you just tap gently. Yeah. And again, the trick to it really, as a right-hander, is that. And as a left-hander, it's that. Because let's face it, it's all about mechanics, right? Have fun.
The elbow, you can go around and just push the pommel.
You could, yeah, absolutely. You get more leverage up here. But yes, you can go around.
That's a classic too.
But yeah.
So if I'm fighting against a left-hander or the left-hander against me and I'm doing the punta falsa correctly, the left-hander or I'm against the left-hander does not really have a response?
There's always a response.
Yeah, but not
Okay, hang on. Tell you what, let's everyone do the one we've just shown, and then we'll have a look at how to do it against the wrong-handedness, because that's an interesting question. All right, go ahead. All righty. Now, we are going to do a few minutes of revision, so you can, it helps begin the remembering process, because you're going to do a lot of stuff over the weekend, and it's all going to be super cool and fun, and by Monday morning you will have forgotten everything we just did, right?
Because we get this video.
Yeah, but that,
But you would play
on
Tuesday.
yeah, when was the last time the tech performed perfectly? Okay, so, all right. Firstly, I asked you at the beginning for what you wanted. Have you had a survey of Vadi stuff or an introduction to Vadi that emphasized the things that are different to what we see in Fiore and Lichtenau? Okay, that is what you asked for, yes? Okay, can we also agree that if you didn't get what you came for this morning, it's your own damn fault because you've had every opportunity to ask for it? Yeah? Fair? Okay. And of course, I am here the whole weekend and I live to teach this stuff. So, you know, if there's anything you want to go over, find me when I'm not eating and I'll be happy to go over stuff with you at any point, right? That's what I'm here for. Okay, so before we finish, what I'd like you to do is just have a think about some of the basic actions we did earlier and how we've applied some of them in interesting ways, and how you can turn around the pommel, you can turn around the sword hand, you can turn around the middle of the sword, and how Falcone is beautifully ambidextrous, yeah, and how you have this lovely sort of striking without stepping, just turning the hips, and all sorts of opportunities to do other cool shit from there. Okay? Does that make sense? So just spend 2 or 3 minutes just making this stuff your own. You can do this by yourself if that's better for you, or you can grab a partner and go over some of the pair stuff if that's better for you. I don't mind. Okay? But just spend a few minutes just making this your own. Okay? Have fun. Genau.
How close do you want?
Oh, with you, darling, as close as you like. All right. So, firstly, thank you all very much for choosing Italy over Spain. It means the world to me. And also for giving me a very easy and enjoyable morning where we could all just enjoy what we're doing and get into it. And, you know, you've all been lovely to have in my class. So feel free to come back this afternoon. You're all very welcome. But if you do choose to slum it over in Spain, I will understand because, you know, you crave variety. I get it. It's no problem. So thank you all very much for coming. I meant what I said. I'm here for you guys for the whole weekend. So if you need anything, just come and find me. Not when I'm eating, not when I'm sleeping. Any other time is fine. Thank you all for coming. I'll hopefully see you this afternoon. All right. Thank you.